What happens when a group of lifelong besties trades middle school crushes for midlife hot flashes? You get a lot of laughs, a little bit of venting, and a whole lot of heart. We've survived cross-country moves, career shifts, and changing gene sizes together. Now we're tackling the invisible years, from the frustration of medical mysteries to the joy of deep-rooted sisterhood. We're here to brainstorm, de-stress, and remind you that you aren't going through this alone. Because at the end of the day, we're more than just a support group. We are friends, period.
Hi, friends. Pull up a chair and join us. We're friends, period. Where nothing is off limits and everything is real. Before we dive in, we just want a quick reminder that we are only sharing our personal journeys, not professional advice. We aren't doctors or experts, and we aren't sponsored by the products we talk about or the ones that we hope to have sponsorships with in the future. Please use your own judgment and always check with your support staff, your doctors, your family before trying any supplements or any changes in your health routines, because everything we share is just from our own personal experience. And before we get started, we just wanted to make sure we introduced ourselves. So tonight I am Lisa.
I'm Megan.
I love that tonight you're Lisa. Who are you going
I
to be
am.
tomorrow?
I don't know.
Colleen.
I have a lot.
And maybe we need you to have extra personalities tonight because we happen to be missing two of our own tonight. Tara was hit with a real life family situation, nothing serious, but took her away from being available for us. And Erin is our musical muse, and she's practicing with her bandmates tonight for an important event. So we wish both of them luck dealing with what they're dealing with tonight, and certainly Erin and her band on their upcoming events. So I'm Colleen. Thanks for joining us, and let's get into it. How was everybody's week and weekend?
It was good. I'm almost done moving, so I can officially say welcome to my home, everyone. In case you're looking at it online, I'm finally in my new house.
That is exciting.
So exciting but tiring. So
Congratulations.
And is that going to be your permanent spot where you're going to be doing the podcast from, so we can all get acquainted with your background?
I think so. We hope to hang the photo soon. It was part of the plan to hang it before today. That did not happen. And the more we unpack boxes, the more I'll have little trinkets and stuff. I do think that this space will be where I'll be all the time, but it probably will be covered with some Disney knickknacks here and there.
So for those of our listeners that are also watchers, which sounds a little
weird,
strange, and maybe diagnosable, but we hope you're listening and maybe watching, but you'll get to see Lisa's room transformation too, which is fun.
That's right.
Megan, did you do anything fun for the 4th?
I went to Cape Cod with family members. Yeah, it was really nice. Really hot, really crowded.
Was really hot.
But just, that I keep saying, it was better than rain. So I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, living in the North, there's a fleeting summer. So I feel like I just can't complain. You just kind of have to muddle through it.
Some of the towns were canceling festivities because of heat. And I said to Dan, my husband, Dan, isn't that like canceling skiing because of snow? Like, isn't
a little bit.
July is being hot and finding ways to cool off and having a frozen beverage of some sort. Like, that's kind of the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of cooling off, we had a little gathering at our house with some family over the weekend, and I have a little funny anecdotal thing to share because I thought when it happened, I thought of this podcast. So I was speaking to a really wonderful family member, and we were talking about age, and she's a little bit behind us. And she asked me, she goes, "How old are you again?" So I was reminiscing that I remember her husband. So she married into Dan's family. I remember her husband when he was a kid. So they're probably like 10 or 15 years younger. And I told her my age, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I would have never thought you were more than like your mid 40s. And I thought to myself, okay, that's almost a compliment, but I kind of wanted it to be younger than that. And so selfishly, I don't know what it was about that comment, but I'm like, "That's only, like, 4 or 5 years younger." Like,
Right.
it didn't feel like enough. So, yeah,
Right.
even in my even in the compliment, I was not happy. I was like, "Wow, I am perimenopausal that even a compliment ticks me off."
Right? Because
There
it's
was
the
that.
same as like, "Oh, you look so good for your age." And I'm like,
Yes.
"Really? Do you
No.
have to add that in? Can't you just say you
Right.
look so good?
Right.
Stop. Period. End of
Yes.
story."
Yeah, there doesn't need to
Oh,
be any qualifiers in there, like, just
Yeah.
give the compliment and I don't know.
yep.
I
I
think that
just
would've
I
that
don't
would've gotten under my skin too. I would've been like,
right.
Same.
"Okay, no, I wanna look a full 10 years younger."
I don't feel old enough to be told that I only look like I'm in my mid-40s, like, that just a little bit. But it was so well-natured and so good intentioned that it was funny that it ticked me off. But anyway,
Right?
that's probably my hormones there too.
Yep.
She
I
really
have
is
to
an
say, if
amazing
you
person.
want
She meant it
those
well.
like misguided, they don't know how old you are, become a teacher. Because my middle
Oh.
schoolers constantly are like, "What? You're almost 50? I thought you were like 30. I thought," and like they come up with these random numbers. And I'm like, "You've been saying that to me for 20 years. I've been teaching
Right.
for 2 decades. And every year somebody comes up with this like random number." And I'm like, "There's no
Well, as
way I
long
look
as
that
it's
age."
not way
Right.
over, then take it. Take it and run with it.
Oh, I do. I do.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
Oh
absolutely.
goodness.
anyway, what were we, what's the topic tonight, ladies? Hit us.
So I'll introduce it. I was trying to think of like, we had this possibility that we were going to be smaller in numbers tonight. So there's a couple other topics that I think we're going to get to when we're, fully staffed, as you might call it. Um, and I was thinking of what's kind of just, as you said, Colleen, like kind of getting under your skin a little bit.
Mhm.
And for me, it's the fat. It's the fat that's getting under my skin.
It's
It's
literally
the
under your skin.
literally, it's right there. I can see it. I can feel it. Um, and
You can
it's
even make it
just
wiggle and move it around. Yeah, it's there. We can't help it.
for those of you not watching, we're not actually doing that on camera. So just so you know.
No, but if it gets more
Um,
viewers, maybe
yeah.
we can start jiggling. I don't know. It's funny because
Oh
that
god.
obviously that's probably one of the biggest complaints of people our age, whether it be men or women, but probably more women. And I think
Mhm.
it just bothers us more because
Yeah.
they don't seem as affected by it. But I was
Yeah.
actually at my annual OBGYN appointment last week, and I was talking to my doctor, who I love, about all of the things. And one of them was weight gain. And I said, all right, so I know you probably hear this from everybody, but I'm concerned because it just feels like it creeps up a little bit. And she looked back and she goes, "Oh, but you've only gained 2 pounds in the last year." And she goes, "Yes, I know 2 pounds is 2 pounds and it's probably in different places." And I think for me, that's the biggest issue. Like up and
Yeah.
down 2 pounds is not the biggest thing, but it's
Mhm.
the difference of where it is. And I
Yeah.
think I'm textbook where it's just kind of all falling around the middle. So,
Mhm. Yeah. I struggle with like, I go through phases of I'll step on the scale every day and be like,
mhm,
yes, yes.
yeah.
Or no, just maybe I won't have breakfast today. Like, and
Oh,
just silly things that
yeah.
I don't really subscribe to that. Like, there isn't a particular number. So like I definitely get caught up in the algorithm will be like, "Oh, I can sense that you're searching for, how to lose weight." And sometimes I'll take those quizzes and they all tell me the same thing.
Mm,
And it's really about like, how am I fitting into my clothes?
yeah.
Mhm.
And how do I feel just moving about throughout the day? And it's beginning to get aggravating because I feel like I'm not doing that much different.
Mhm.
And I try to be active and I try to be, you know, make good decisions with food. Um, you know, I went to Cape Cod recently and I said, my trip will be a success if I can have ice cream. And I had it once and it was great.
Mhm.
But there was a time not too long ago where I would have had it all 4 days.
And
Um,
maybe more than once a day, and you would have dipped your fries in the melted chocolate ice cream.
a
We know
hundred
that's a
percent,
recurring theme.
100%. And it's not so much that I went through a phase of, the shirts were a bit baggier, the rise of the pants was a bit different. And now it just seems like even the stuff that I'm most comfortable in on any given day, I'm like very uncomfortable. And I could just be going to the grocery store and it takes me forever to get dressed.
I agree with
And
that.
my husband's like, what is going on? And I'm like, does this look fine? And he's like, you look beautiful.
We're going to
and
the
I'm like,
grocery store.
great, but you didn't actually look at me. So could you look with your eyes instead of your heart? Like, I know you want me to look great and I know you love me, but I want to not feel this
it's how
way.
you feel. Yeah. And I
Correct.
think that's the biggest thing. Like, I'm wearing the same size clothes, but I'm not loving the way that they're fitting on me. Yeah, exactly. And so I'm curious about, is there anything in particular that anyone's tried? Like, I keep reading about berberine, like, different supplements and things, but I haven't tried it. I don't know if it actually works.
I actually did try berberine, nature's Ozempic. And then when I actually did a little bit more research online, it was, you had to be on it for a lot longer than I was. I want to say like 8 to 10 weeks. And the evidence of weight loss was just really, really minimal. So I was looking for a magic bullet, and that was not it. But I had a similar experience when I went to my doctor last summer, just for my annual physical. And as I'm sitting in the waiting room, they handed me my chart just to bring into the room with me. And I'm just flipping through. So I could see my weight over the past couple years. And Colleen, like you were saying, it's only 2 pounds, but it was 2 pounds one year, 2 pounds the next year, 2 pounds the next year. And so it was like that call. And I was like, this trajectory is not okay. Like, right? Like, this is quickly going to get out of hand. And that was all I could think about. So I go in to talk to the doctor and I'm not even paying attention because I'm just so in my head about it. And when I mentioned it, his response was, would you like to try a GLP-1, which kind of shocked me because I was like, and I even said to him, is it that easy to get? And he said, well, do you feel like you've exhausted all options to lose weight? And I was like, no, like if I'm being honest, absolutely not. But I started exercising during COVID and I've kept it up. So for the past 6 years, I've exercised more consistently than I ever had in my entire life. And I haven't changed how I eat, but I'm still gaining weight.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So you didn't do the GLP-1, right?
I did not. I did ask him. I said, so because I wasn't expecting that to even be offered. So I was kind of taken aback. Like, I was like, oh, wasn't expecting to have that conversation. So no, I'm not ready to have that conversation. I also don't feel like I've exhausted all avenues to try and lose weight on my own. But I did ask him, so what's the deal? I take that for the rest of my life. And he said, no, you take it. He said 2 years max. I'll give it to you. And I was like, and then I'm on my own. Like, I'm not doing well on my own
now
as it is.
And now you're going to alter your body's chemistry for 2 years and then hope it can catch up when you take it out. Because that's what I've heard, is that like once you stop, your body just rebounds, right? That's what I don't know.
I don't know. And I don't know that I know enough people that have stopped taking it or gone into like a maintenance phase. So I really don't know enough about it. But I was like, clearly I can't do it. So I feel like I would just yo-yo. But
so I don't know about you, but I've figured out the yo-yo thing all by myself. I think I've gained and lost the same 20 pounds every couple of years for my whole adult life. So
So what I've been trying lately is some more of those apps that are like calorie counting apps that have maybe some element of AI built into it, where you can take a photo of your food just to make the calorie counting easier. And honestly, for me, it'll be, I don't even do it every day. To me, like every now and then I'm like, I think I need a little reality check. Like, is what I'm eating healthy? Am I getting enough protein? Let me be real for a minute, So That's kind
So
of
it's
what
like a
I've been trying.
checks and balances kind of thing.
Checks and balances, but, like, I like, weight has been something that has, like, dominated my mental space since I was
Yes,
young, like,
me
real
too.
young. So, I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's deeply embedded in my brain, and, it's so, like, you look back on photos and you're like, "Oh my god, I was thin then," but you
Mm,
Yeah,
didn't think it. So, I think it's such a mental thing.
that's such
I
a good
agree.
point. I
Yeah,
see people walking around wearing whatever they wanna wear in like, on the you go to the beach and you sit there and you people watch and and all I can say sometimes is I just I commend their level of confidence. Like, I'm jealous
sure.
of their confidence
Yes.
because nobody cares,
Nope.
but yet,
Right.
like, I am so self-conscious when I walk into, any well, really, I mean, any place, but especially a beach, gosh,
Yeah.
I don't wanna wear a bathing suit in front of people I don't know, but, yeah, how some people have that confidence or they just fake it, I don't know, but I've never had that.
Me either.
Mm,
I had said that I went to the Cape and it was with family, and I want to say we were there last year too, same time frame. So exact same bathing suit last year to this year, just felt a little less comfortable this time.
mhm,
Um, and it was again that like midsection where that
yeah,
generally isn't the spot where I'm noticing it, right? And
mm,
it's just like I notice it more now, and I feel like it's like the chicken and the egg. Like which came first? Is it the people on Instagram that are telling me that I should
mhm.
have
Yeah.
trouble with it, and then it's going to my midsection, so now I'm looking for it. Um, so I have this weird little like thought process that just happened while you guys were both sharing a little bit. And I have on my chest like a marking. It's not a marking, it's a vein that is very visible to me. And I remember finding it about a year and a half ago. I was going to see a doctor about a different varicose vein on my leg and having a procedure done. And they tell you to sort of just keep your eye on everything as far as
Mhm.
your vascular system is concerned. And I was brushing my teeth at night and I noticed it in the mirror and it was very bright blue on my chest. And I was like, well, that's weird. So I
Mhm.
took a picture of it, I circled it, I put the date on it. For the life of me, I can't remember the date right now, but I just scrolled through my photos because I want to. I had sent everybody a text like, "Can you send me an old picture of you and a current picture of you? Like, I want to put some stuff together for us for social media."
Mhm.
And I thought the doctor told me to keep my eye on myself for my procedure, and found this other problem. It's not a problem. Every doctor that I've shown it to is like, "Oh, it's fine. Like, it's just there." But I see it when I head to the doctor.
Mm.
And because I'm on social media, not for bad reasons, like I scroll as much as the next person and I post as much as the next person and it's pretty simple. Um I wonder if I'm more uncomfortable because people are talking more about it, and
Mm.
are there magic bullets? Can you take medicine? Sure, I probably could get someone to prescribe something for me, but I'm like, I don't want to, I've never wanted
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Um but I don't know what point I will it will be overwhelming enough to do something. Like, I
Mm.
wonder if there will be a point where it's like, I'm sick of it, and I just wish I knew which happened first. Did the weight gain happen and then I noticed and started seeing it on social media? Or did everybody tell me that it was going to happen, so now it's happening because I am thinking about it so much?
Yeah. I think
I
my
don't know.
problem with the GLP-1 for myself, and certainly I respect everybody's personal decisions. I personally know people who are on it, and some experience
Mhm.
has been better than others. Some people say they're not sick at all, and I have another
Yep.
family member who it made super sick, and she was a casual drinker net before. She can't touch alcohol now. Like her body just is metabolizing things so differently. So that's all everyone's personal, you know, reactions and decisions to make on their own. So I'm not judging any of that. That's fine. But for me, I think the biggest thing for me is if, like Megan said before, she looks back at pictures of herself from 10 years ago or so and says, oh, I looked thin, but I didn't feel it at the time. So I see doing a GLP-1 when obviously none of us are grossly overweight. We're talking about like annoying overweightness.
Mhm.
Like, for in our own eyes, we want to be a little tighter or this or that.
Yep.
But we're not talking about like major health issue kind of weight. So for me,
Right.
I would just see it like, okay, you're just moving the target. So, okay, so if I lose, 15 pounds, which is what I could probably want to lose, then what? Like, then what's the next thing that's going to bother me, and what's the next thing I
Right.
need to fix? And so I feel like I want to work more on becoming comfortable in my own skin and having
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
confidence. That's to me the more admirable trait for myself. Again, I'm not judging anybody for
Right.
doing what they do. That's just a
Right.
personal decision. And yeah, I would love a quick fix. I would love to say, make me 15, 20 pounds lighter overnight. I'm not saying that's not a great thing, but I think for my own personality, it would just 15 or 20 pounds from now, I'd be thinking about something else. I'd be thinking about the turkey neck. And if I lose weight, that's gonna get worse, and then what do I do with that? And then I have the wrinkles on my
Yep.
forehead that I've had since I had kids because they stressed me out, and I remember Emily looking at me when she was little going, "What are all those lines on your head?" I'm like, "That's your fault." So, again, it's like, for me, it would just be what's the next thing that I have kind of an obsessive personality where I'm always worried
Yep.
about something. So, that's my own reasoning for not entertaining something like that. But I
Yep.
also do wonder, Megan, like you said, what's the long term? So there hasn't been a long enough history with this drug to know what happens in 2 years or 5 years, or what the maintenance looks like for people, or do they have to take it forever? And that
Yeah.
worries me too.
Me too. I always wonder,
Yeah.
like whenever people talk about like there's different like workout plans, and there's different, the keto diet and the paleo
Mm,
diet and all these
mm,
different things. And I always try to, and I sometimes I say it here and I say it, out loud till I believe it myself. But like, I want something that is going to be a lifestyle choice
mm.
as
Yeah.
opposed to a 75-day plan. Because
Mhm.
once that 75 days, I've done that before. Like,
Mhm.
I've been in a position where someone close to me was doing a bit of a diet. So I was like, oh, I'll join you for this. And it was, the removing of bread and the removing of starches. And
Mhm.
they're like, I love those things,
Mhm.
and I want to be able
Mhm.
to enjoy. Do I need to adjust my portions? Sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I can do that. But I want it to be something that I can hold on to. Like, I feel I did yoga today because I
Mhm.
did strength yesterday. And I thought that's a better long term fix for me, is to not try to do, oh, I've been off track for the past few weeks because of moving. So now I'm just going to do a hard workout every single day. Because then I'll get sick and then I won't feel good and then I might injure myself. So I'm trying to like strength on the odd days and yoga or stretching on the even days is my
Mhm.
new, like, I'm going to give that a try for July and see how it
Mhm.
works. Um,
And does it
but
make you
even
feel like
kind
those are
of,
things that make you feel good, or
they
kind of?
do.
Okay.
Like there's a workout called the Sims 60. So it's a 60-minute workout, but it's 10 minutes on the bike and then 10 minutes of strength training and then 10 minutes on the bike, and it goes for 60 minutes. So
Mhm.
like my attention span, it works really well for. I was super sweaty when I was done and I was just like spent and tired. But I, oddly enough, out of the few nights that I've been in the house, last night was the worst night of sleep that I've
Mm.
had, whereas the others were much better and I did less during the day. And I was
Hmm.
like, can we fix that? Like, maybe if I can
Oh,
fix my sleep, I can fix other things.
so going back to the sleep thing, a throwback to a previous episode, we
Hmm.
had a listener write us a couple of messages with some feedback, which
Yes.
was amazing. So
Yep.
anybody who has some feedback for us, good, bad, or otherwise, or advice of any kind, feel free to throw that at us on any of our social media channels, or email, which Lisa can remind us what that is. But so one of
Okay.
them was related to magnesium because we were talking about that with relation to sleep. And what was her suggestion to you? A powdered magnesium was her
I
suggestion?
think so. I'm going to open it right now. So
Okay.
this is a friend of ours from high school. actually.
Mhm.
Sandy reached out to us. That's who you're talking about, right?
Yes.
That one. Um, so I know I haven't spoken to her in years, but she reached out and gave us some good suggestions. Trying to see if I can find it. Um,
And while you find that, I at my doctor's appointment last week, we were going over what I take, and I was mentioning magnesium, and she said, "Which kind?" And I said, "The glycinate." And she said, "Okay, I'm glad you're taking that one because the other one causes a lot of GI issues." Which I didn't even honestly know that there were different kinds because when she told me what to take, I just Googled it and ordered it. But apparently, there's a different kind that can cause digestive upset. So
There, and that's
luckily, I didn't
actually, that kind of kept me away from magnesium for a little bit. And Colleen, when you
Mm,
told me that you were taking the glycinate and that I know you have GI issues. I also
mm,
have GI issues, and that you
mhm,
weren't impacted by it. I
mhm.
actually started taking it. But then there's just such, like, I don't know. I don't want to say misinformation, but everybody gets snippets of information. I was on a walk with my sister and my cousin, and they were saying that magnesium glycinate is the one that's more difficult on your GI system. So they take magnesium citrate. And I was like,
Oh,
I don't know what to believe, but I'm taking magnesium
right.
glycinate
yeah,
and I haven't had any adverse
yeah.
effects. So I'm going to
No,
stick
my
with that.
doctor specifically said the citrate one was the one that would cause me major
Okay. All right,
digestive
good.
upset.
I'll stick with what I'm
Interesting.
So,
doing then.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I did find the comment, and it does say that our friend, has her blood work done pretty regularly, and that her doctor recommended a powder form of
Yeah.
magnesium, but it doesn't call out which type of
Mhm.
magnesium.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Have
did
you
reach out to my doctor as well, um, regarding wanting to do blood work and wanting to do, um, potentially an estrogen patch, which
mhm,
a family member had recommended because she's had really good luck in the past few years with it. I guess
mhm,
her, hot flashes were severe, severe disruption to sleep. And she said it's been a lifesaver.
mm,
So I reached out just like through the patient portal, got an immediate response like, yes, go do your fasting blood work. So I did that before the 4th. And she recommended that I find an HRT specialist.
mm,
Um, so that was the other kind of like, if we're going to keep it real and talk about all the things that are annoying, the soonest appointment is at the end of August. And because I'm a teacher, and that's right when
ah,
I go back to school at the beginning of August, but I was like, any chance of something after a certain time period so I could not miss a day of work so early. And that meant that I would have to wait till the end of October. And I was like,
that's what
oh, well,
kills me about the
let's go.
medical system. Like, you're reaching out for
Yeah.
an appointment because you're uncomfortable, because you have all these
Yeah.
issues, and, like, now it's wait. Yeah, that
Yeah.
kills me.
Hurry up
Yeah.
and wait. Yep. So
Mhm.
I have an appointment booked, but it's not till the end of August. I want to say like the 28th of August, um, where I'll get to discuss it. And no one's reached out. It's only Monday. I had the blood work done on Friday. No big deal. But all I can see are the results inside of my patient portal. And
Mhm.
that leaves me to Google and say, like, what does this mean? What does
Mm.
this mean? What does this
Yeah.
mean? Um,
Yeah,
and
that's not good.
I think what I'm looking at is that my estrogen is next to nothing
Mm.
right now. And there was another part of the panel that said something about um, ovulation. And I was like,
Mm.
I do still have my
Mm.
ovaries, but I also had a
Yeah,
hysterectomy.
right.
So not all the same things should be happening. Um, so I don't know what I'm reading until they call
Yeah.
or until I call and finally get an answer, but
And I will
it's kind of a
say,
mess.
I think we've talked about this before too, but as far as the hormonal testing, every doctor that I've ever talked to about that with the blood work and the test results have told me that they're when it comes to like the estrogen level and stuff, that they're almost meaningless because from
Mhm.
one day to the next, your level can
Hmm.
change drastically. So, from what I've been told, and I'm not a professional, but
Yeah.
what I've been routinely told is that those results are almost not worth anything because they're just a shot in the dark on the day that you took it, the time that you took it, and when you take it tomorrow, it could be so much different. That being said, though, when I had my most recent one done after a procedure, my level was still pretty high, but my doctor ended up putting me on estrogen in a couple of different ways, and it has fixed a couple of things for me. So even with a higher level on my blood work, she still added it, and it has been helping.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's
It's
my hope.
very confusing, and there's no clear-cut answers, and the doctors can't even give you those clear answers. So it's just a shot in the dark,
Yeah.
in
That's
my
why,
opinion.
honest to God, like that's why I love, even though I know there's only 3 of us today, but like I love being able to have these conversations
Mhm.
because it's that moment of like, you tried this and you got this information about magnesium and we got this information about magnesium. And
Mhm.
it opens up, a world of knowledge that we wouldn't have if we didn't have this opportunity to chat. And that's why I think it would be super important, and helpful for all of us. If you're listening and you have experience with it, if you have um, your same frustrations, maybe like if enough of us have the same problem, um, we may find a new way to reach a solution, I think, by chatting with each other. So my hope is that a listener will reach out and be like, so I am a doctor and this is the avenue you should go down.
Right, exactly. I mean, we have like an example of somebody with like low estrogen, somebody with high estrogen, but and Colleen, I was told the same thing by my doctor. It's a snapshot in time. It's just,
Mhm.
I mean, she didn't totally shut it down. She was like,
Right.
if you want to make an appointment to speak specifically about hormone replacement therapy, we
Mhm.
could do that. Um, and I haven't taken her up on it, but yeah.
Yeah, and as a disclaimer, what I'm doing is not considered HRT, it's low-level estrogen stuff, so
Okay.
Mhm.
yeah, it's not I'm not there yet, but actually I wasn't, being distracted, but I was looking this up to make sure that we're all on the same page. So I looked up magnesium glycinate versus citrate, and Dr. Google says magnesium glycinate is significantly better if you are prone to sensitive stomach and digestive issues. Magnesium citrate draws water into the intestines and has a known laxative effect, which can worsen diarrhea and stomach upset.
Mm.
Yeah.
Let's not end
Conversely,
there.
glycinate is a chelated form that is highly absorbable and gentle on on the digestive system, and that is what my doctor
Hmm,
said too, so that makes me feel better. But anywho,
that's good.
so
Well,
if
Lisa, I
go
was
ahead.
just going to say, Lisa, you might remember this, like back in the day when you'd have colonoscopies, you would have to
Mhm.
drink that carbonated, it was
Citrate.
magnesium citrate. And
Yes,
that's the
that's
stuff that
right.
causes your
Interesting.
intestines to spasm. So,
Yes.
yeah,
That
I'm
makes
never
sense.
taking that unless I'm
Mm-mm.
prepping for a colonoscopy. Like,
Mm.
it's
I love
not
that you just said
happening.
I love that you just said back in the day. For our listeners that
Mhm.
don't know, that is a yearly experience for your friend here.
And now that
Lisa,
she's put it
Lisa's an
out there, we'll say
expert.
that yeah, Lisa's the the prep specialist,
I'm
so
the resident expert in
you could write
colonoscopies.
another throwback to our childhood. You could write the Cliff Note version of how
I
to prep
could.
colonoscopies.
I could. Sometimes the
Gosh,
doctors are like, "Are you sure you want to go that route?" I'm like, "Yep, I have it down to a science."
not a big deal.
It's the one thing in my body that hasn't changed with age is my ability to do what I need to do to get ready for a colonoscopy. I
Wow.
can
There you
still
No,
go.
use the
man.
same
There you
old
have it.
prep. So good for
I
me.
think the next time I need to do it, I do need to use you as a motivational speaker to get me through it
Okay.
because it was such a horrible, awful experience for me. I did not like it, gave it negative stars, don't want to do it again. Will do it again. I will stay up on whatever the doctor suggests, but not fun. But
Maybe that'll be a whole other episode.
speaking of fun, it's always fun hanging out with you guys and chatting and
Absolutely.
Yes.
hearing about everyone's experiences. We certainly missed Tara and Erin tonight, and we wish them well. And we can't wait to get back together, all 5 of us, again soon.
Absolutely.
All right.
So
Well,
until
until
then,
then, yeah. Bye,
thanks for
friends.
being one of us tonight, friends. All
Bye,
right.
friends.
Bye.
Good night.